Hello and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 33 AI team reveal with me, Holly Shand. 2 free transfers much needed with injuries mounting up in the squad, and we've also got the schedule confirmed for the season running. Let's get into it. Looking at predictions then by position for players over the next 5 game weeks, with that double game week 37 now confirmed and the double in 35 as well. It's Chelsea's Petrovic who ascends the goalkeeper rankings on 25.1 predicted points over the next 5 game weeks. Chelsea have got 7 fixtures to play in that time, but Robert Sanchez could be back to full fitness soon, so if Petrovic's form doesn't improve, he could see himself benched. David Raya still doing very well in second place, 24.8 predicted points, but personally, I don't feel like he is within the optimal Arsenal triple up right now, moving into their double game week 34. We've got Ederson back fit and back in the top 10. 5.5 million makes it difficult to justify his inclusion with a lot of demand on our budget in attacking areas. If you want a cheaper pick, then Brighton's Verbruggen, 23.1 predicted points as well in third place, tied with Ederson, likely to be the one to go for, particularly if those are free hitting in 34, looking to bring in a goalkeeper who doubles before the end of the season. If you're looking to hit in a goalkeeper who has a double in game week 34, Pickford's probably the leading goalkeeper option among those. I prefer him to Henderson, who's a little bit higher in these AI predictions, but not by a lot. Moving on to defenders then, and Arsenal's Gabriel remains in top spot, 27.9 predicted points. 6 fixtures for the Gunners over the next 5 game weeks definitely helps him, and current form. Ben White isn't far behind though, with Saliba and Zinchenko also making the top 10. Zinchenko feels like more of the minutes risk as he and Kiwior continue to vie for minutes. Elsewhere, Chelsea options obviously doing very well once again, given the volume of fixtures. Chilwell is in third place on 25.2 predicted points. If you want a more cheaper option, Malo Gusto, 4.3 million. He sits in 6th place on 23.3 predicted points. He did miss out last time due to a little bit of fatigue and illness after a very congested schedule, but you look at the games that Chelsea have still got to come, that could be something that comes to the fore once again. And obviously, Reece James could potentially be back before the end of the season, but I don't see any of the Blues defenders maybe playing all 7 of these games in this very busy season running for them. Elsewhere, we've got Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk in 4th place on 24.4 predicted points. Liverpool, obviously, with the double in 34, a nice fixture this week as well. So he's a nice short-term option, but we do need to be mindful there that he is quite expensive on the budget. We've got Trent coming back in for Liverpool very soon, which means Conor Bradley's time in these AI predictions looks seemingly over. And if you're looking for a player to bring in, if you're free hitting in 34 that doubles later in the season, then you could look to Brighton's Lewis Dunk in 5th place on 23.3 predicted points. Moving into the midfield then, and Salah v Haaland is a big conversation right now, and it's still Salah who remains on top in the rankings with probably the better fixtures in the short term as well, because he does double in game week 34 and he's looking like a player that's going to be absolutely essential in that game week, given that he's top for both shots and big chances on goal since the international break. Son in 2nd place, obviously he's a better pick for those on free hit in 34 because Spurs blank and then they do double in 35 and 37. He's ahead of Palmer in 3rd place with those 8 fixtures in the season, running 3 double-digit hauls in his last 4 games. If you are shopping for a midfielder and you don't own Palmer, he is absolutely the one to bring in. And with a midweek potential injury to Foden, he's out of the top 10, with De Bruyne coming in now in 4th, 34.8 predicted points, led the team of the week last time out. Saka down in 5th, one of 2 Arsenal players, with Odegaard also making the top 10. Another key asset for double game week 34. Eze slips down the rankings, again a short-term option with that coming double in mind. And Anthony Gordon, back from suspension, back in the top 10 as well. Just sneaking in a cheaper option who could be useful with that double game week 37 for Newcastle coming during the later elements of the season running. Finally, looking at forwards then, and no surprise that Haaland remains in top spot. We have to bear in mind a great fixture for City this weekend at home to Luton. Remember, Haaland scored 5 in the FA Cup in late February. Nicholas Jackson remains in second place. He still needs to get through 2 more games without picking up a yellow card, else he could get a 2-game ban, which would mean he would plummet in this list. So he's not one to buy right now, but certainly if he can get through the next 2 ahead of double game week 35, he will be popular. Isaac's purple patch continues. Callum Wilson could be waiting in the wings though by the time Newcastle double in game week 37. That's one to keep an eye on, but he remains a good pick for free hitters in 34 to buy for later in the season. Darwin, the best of the short-term options, 31.7 predicted points over the next 5 game weeks, including that double in 34. And a lack of doubles sees Watkins down in 8th place. But he punished me as a non-owner last week. So it's going to take a brave fantasy manager to back the volume of fixtures. Sometimes it has to be quality over quantity. It was back-to-back green arrows for the AI team in game week 32. Then 67 points, a game week rank inside the top 2 million, taking us back up to 120k overall. We decided to roll the transfer, which paid off. It was a big week, though, for injuries, though, with Aït-Nouri and Bowen both going off injured. Foden failed to feature, has since picked up an injury midweek. We had Cameron Archer also subbing, though, for 4 points. This is the 3rd or 4th time this season where one of the front 7 has missed out and Archer's come off the bench with an attacking return. And bearing in mind that he's not a regular starter for Sheffield United, only 7 attacking returns of the season. He's been a loyal servant for us as that 8th attacker. Elsewhere, points to note, we captained the highest performing player in Salah with a 16-pointer. It wouldn't have mattered if we'd gone with the vice-captain Haaland, though, who also scored 8 points at the weekend. And then elsewhere, Saka and Palmer delivering great points in the attack. Dubravka v Neto looked like a close call, but we backed the AI predictions, went with Dubravka. He got a 9-pointer. We also had that clean sheet once again from Gabriel in the defence. And Aït-Nouri did get an assist before going off injured, so we have to take the positives there as well. 2 free transfers for this week then, 0.2 million in the bank. Yet to get a proper update on whether Foden or Aït-Nouri will feature at the weekend. It's looking a lot less likely for West Ham's Jared Bowen though, and he is the focus for the AI recommended transfers. I put in the plan is to wildcard in game week 35. The 2 free transfers are recommended for Alex Moreno, who is no longer a regular for Aston Villa, out by Virgil van Dijk. And that's using funds released from going Bowen to Hee-Chan. Now, my only issue with this transfer is that Hee-Chan, back from injury, was in the squad for Wolves but didn't feature in the last game, still building up to match fitness. So given the injury issues we've got elsewhere, it feels a little short-sighted to bring in a player that maybe might not start at the weekend. The alternative transfer, which is what I'm leaning to at the moment, is straight swap Bowen to Diaz, 1 free transfer, roll the other transfer, and that should give us a bit more of a fuller picture on player availability going into the big double game week 34, which is obviously a game week that a lot of managers will be looking to attack. And you look at the players that we've got at the moment, we've got Neto in goal who doubles, we've got Gabriel, hopefully Aït-Nouri, potentially Charlie Taylor as well, doubling for the defence. Then we've got Saka, Salah, Diaz in the attack, and Cameron Archer, potentially Solanke doubles as well, we could be in a position where we drop Haaland for a week. Who knows? We'll see what the recommendations come to at the time. But we're getting very close to getting to that maximum 11 players for double game week 34, which feels like a good place to be in to then wildcard out in game week 35, probably hit Chelsea and Spurs assets hard for their double in 35, and then the bench boost in play for double game week 37. Team selection time. This 11 is going to have a predicted 66.9 points going into game week 33 with a team rating of 88% and a game week rating higher at 90%. Another big decision in goal between Neto at home to Manchester United and Dubravka at home to Spurs. The predictions are absolutely the same, 3.8 points. AI currently going Neto over Dubravka. We have to trust in the AI. Served us very well last week. Moving into the defence, and Aït-Nouri is getting the start in the defence alongside Gabriel and Taylor. That's because there's a lack of options on the bench with Moreno and Baldock. But I guess the AI recommendations could change if Aït-Nouri is ruled out for this game. But he's a player we'll want to keep hold of with double game week 34 in mind. The attack picks itself, Archer's definitely the weakest of the front eight. So it's a 3-5-2 once again. Salah, Saka, Palmer, Foden flagged and Diaz the new recruit in the midfield. Again, how sure are we that Foden with a little knock will start against Luton at home? Not very at this stage, so we may need Cameron Archer off the bench and a front two of Haaland and Solanke with home comforts. In fact, all of the front seven have a home game, which certainly fills us with a lot of confidence going into this round of fixtures. When it comes to captaincy, it's Haaland leading Salah by 0.5 predicted points, who takes the armband at home to Luton. Personally, I feel like Salah's more likely to play the most minutes. There's not a lot to split them on form, so we'll see how it shakes out. But we've got to trust the AI here. Obviously, with the injuries, Friday's press conferences are going to be crucial to the transfers. So I will be actually making the transfers for the team and publishing the final team reveal on the Fantasy Football Hub website on Friday at around 4 o'clock. And you can access that with a 7-day free trial using the link in the description to this video. Thank you for watching.